When you do full screen, Sam, we can't see it.
Oh, really?
That we are praying for their son to make a full recovery. That's all we can ask for. We're all humans at the end of the day. Right. So I am glad to see, Lions fans, Bengals fans, Bills fans, Chargers fans. I even heard, didn't I hear Giants or somebody? Anyways, it don't matter who you're a fan of at the end of the day. It matters we're all human. We come together and we show support for another human being when in need. That's what it's about. There it is. So, yeah, I do wish, I hope the family does see this. I do know, I don't know if the family's going to watch or if they're going to see this, but this sign was made by somebody and delivered. If they like it, they can't get it because of being delivered. I'm sure this stuff was made here, so he's in there. After this is all said and done. Anybody got anything else to say? I just want to say, believe, don't give up. Something I've had to learn is when I'm in a tough situation, I always show that positivity because I know God wants me to show that negative activity. Just like that awesome man up there with a good heart, doing things for kids, and he has to go through this. It's tough. I know he's going to pull through because he is going to pull through. I'm not giving anything negative. And I know what he's in is a very rare condition, some that the NFL has never seen. And I really pray and hope that the NFL has his back 100%. I know a lot of people are itching about the game. I 100% get it. It's about to be playoff season. I get it. But this is not about football right now. This is about him. Don't worry about the money. Don't worry about the game. I understand you are very itching for it. I get it. This is a man's life at risk right now. We are not giving up. We need to be one nation and doing this the right way. Just like it says in the Pledge of Allegiance, one nation under God. How many of us in agreement on the healing of this young man? In the Bible, the word that signifies agreement is amen. Take authority. Take authority. Amen. We need to thank God in advance for what he's done. That's right. That's right. That's right. He will do it. That's right. I want to make sure that this goes to that family up there. They see everything like this that shows that we're never going to give up on him. Good. I haven't slept in the last 36 hours because I'm very worried about a man up there because I know God wanted me to be there for him. To be here. As soon as I found out about this yesterday, I'm from Butler County. I'm from Alabama. He's from Alabama. He came up yesterday. So just know right here, the people that you see right here, they're from different states. They're from, I'm from California. Steve from Alabama. We have Detroit. He drove all the way down here. We have Buffalo. Every NFL team has your back. And we will be praying every single second, every single day for your son.
Check mic.
Check mic.
Oh, that was loud. Good evening, Jag Wire.
Jag Wire.
Join us again tonight. Week 17 of the NFL season. We are happy to join everybody. Unfortunately, with some sad news. Well, I guess sad events.
You might need to restart that because my audio has been messed up. So I apologize. I don't want y'all to have to edit that out because it's going to be super echoey. Go ahead.
Okay. You guys just want to restart?
What is happening?
Sammy, technical difficulties.
All right.
Go ahead.
Shall we restart?
Yep, go ahead.
Okay.
It was playing out of my computer speakers and not my headphones.
Welcome to the Jag Wire.
All right, go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
Welcome to the Jag Wire, everybody. Week 17 is sort of in the books with some unfortunate events that didn't let us complete the week. Before we start, I am Matthew Grieve, and our co-host here are Sammy Football.
Hello, everyone.
AKA Sammy Technical Difficulties.
I tried.
AKA Sammy can't share an audio feed / video feed on a live stream.
I know. I try.
And everybody's favorite Josh Allen.
That's right. Your mom's favorite Josh Allen.
He's my second.
Not
favorite
your
Josh
mom,
Allen.
Matt, but just everybody's mom.
He's my
Well,
second
speaking of-
favorite, and I'm a mom. I speak on behalf of moms. He's the second best Josh Allen.
No. Yeah. You don't
Well-
have voting rights for the moms.
Well, everybody, we did get started a little bit late today. That's because, as we kind of seen and heard before we started talking, there was a vigil held in honor of Damar Hamlin and what happened yesterday. It wasn't anything official. It was some fans had gotten together and decided they wanted to pay some respects to Damar Hamlin, who, from what I understand, I don't know if you guys have any more updates. He's doing better, still in critical condition, but doing better. I don't know if you guys have any updates.
Yeah, the uncle. So I saw that the uncle, they did an interview with his uncle who's at the hospital. And I guess that he's getting 50% oxygen. So he's down from, so he's not receiving 100%, which means he's breathing some on his own. And there was a comment from a respiratory therapist that works in trauma units that said they're probably preparing to wake him up. So.
Yeah, I had read that they were doing a lot of tests on his internal organs to see if, with all the stuff that happened, there was any damage to any of his organs. So hopefully, I don't know, man. Hopefully he pulls through and he's fine.
Yeah, it's
What
been
a
rough.
crazy.
I never let stuff affect me like that, but I didn't sleep very well last night, if you can't tell. That messed with me a little bit. It's rough.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
What was weird was the players' faces on the sideline, right? Like the other players, because once they took him off in a cart, you didn't really see much of him, but it was the way it affected the other people was what, really
Well,
sort of
and
got me
I
as-
really loved seeing them all crowd around. I can only imagine how traumatic it was for them, but both teams just completely circled him to give him privacy,
right.
And yeah, that's tough. And he's a great guy,
Yeah, I was thinking about yesterday. I've been in some professions where death and injuries are part of the business, right? But this is different here, where these players, they come in and they, you kind of almost have to expect an injury, but you don't expect that to happen, right? You don't expect one of your teammates, one of your fellow competitors to all of a sudden be lying on the ground, potentially, dying. So I can only imagine what was going through their heads sitting next to him. A positive note.
Yeah, I was watching a guy. Sorry, I'll say this one last thing, and I was watching a guy who actually covers the Bills, who said that he has covered football for 5 years, and he's covered UFC and MMA before, and he's never seen anything like that. Even doing really tough sports like UFC and MMA, he has never seen anything like that. It's just crazy. So, anyways, go ahead.
I was just going to say a positive note that came out of it. I'm sure everyone's seen his Chasing M Foundation, which I think started the night at $2,600. And I'm looking at the page right now. It's sitting at $5,526,000.
It's
So,
crazy.
especially if he comes out of this ordeal, 100%. What a great thing to come out of it, I guess, right?
Or
I'm
Yeah,
sure
even if
he'll
he,
be.
even if he doesn't come out and ever play football again, but he comes out and he just goes, this young man, 24 years old, has made such an impact in 24 hours on the NFL community that he went from $2,500 to $5.5 million in 24 hours. Like, he will be a legend, and he's just such a good dude. That's all you hear is just how amazing of a person he is.
Yeah, and Fanatics came out and said today, I guess sales of his jersey have gone through the roof, and they said all proceeds above whatever their costs are, they're going to donate it to that foundation that he started, the fundraiser for
That's
the
amazing.
daycare. I don't know if it's daycare or what it
Wow.
was, but the whole point of it was to get
It was a
Christmas
toy
presents for
drive.
kids. Yeah,
Yeah.
Christmas presents for kids who maybe weren't going to have a Christmas otherwise, which is a cool thing.
Yeah, and I think it was just like a standing thing that he does, so he just leaves it up, and then it's just getting flooded right now.
And it's in his hometown. It's where he's from, so he's giving back to where he came from. So pretty neat.
Oh, we lost you, Matt.
Matthew, I believe you're muted.
You're muted. See? Maddie, technical difficulties over here, okay?
It's rubbing off on everybody else.
It's great. How about now? Are we good?
Yep.
Yeah. Yep, you're good.
Okay, cool. Actually, I lost internet being in the mountains. But no, I'll say what I was saying to nobody listening was you can go to the GoFundMe website, and it's really cool because you can see all these different donations. They range from $100 to $5. And it's just great to see people like, what are you going to do with $5, right? What better way to this isn't the only cause you could put. There's plenty of really great causes out there. It's just nice to see, see all these
Can you see
little
like
money
how many donations have been made? Does it show you like the number?
Yeah, 189.3 thousand.
Yeah, there's some wild stories that came out of it too. Tom Brady gave $10,000. Chris Jericho, the wrestler, gave $5,000, misspelled his name, and then donated another $5,000 just to like correct his name because he couldn't figure out how to fix his name. Andy Dalton, who Bills fans famously gave a bunch of money to his charity when they got in the playoffs and the Jags beat them 5 years ago. Just want to drop that little nugget in there. He gave like 3,000. A bunch of name after name is sort of popped into this this thing and done something pretty cool out of a pretty scary situation.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, this is I guess this is going for children, their toys, and back to school drives, kids camps, and more. I know personally here in the town that I live in now, fundraisers like this are super important for the kids. I know here in town, a lot of these kids, they're so poor that a lot of times they don't eat until they go to school the next day. And so, fundraisers like this are impactful. Like, they impact lives. And so, it's a heartwarming part of a sad story.
Yep. A little bit of good out of a whole lot of bad. So,
any other comments?
Uche Nwaneri, the only other comment I had was it was also a sad day in the Jags universe. Uche Nwaneri passed away of a heart attack.
And that happened prior to this. We just found out. It was on January 30th. It happened yesterday that Jags fans found out.
It's crazy.
Another awesome dude.
Oh. Do we know why it took so long for it to be released?
No, I think it was like people didn't think. So he, like Josh said it last night on the AFC South fan battle, like he isn't like a Hall of Fame player. Like, he was with us from 2007 to 2013, but he was very active with Jaguar fans still. Mm-hmm. And so I think that, like, it doesn't make big press if they're not like, like big names. So like some news article was posted a couple days later. I think they had to do autopsy results and rule out foul play and all that stuff. Something was posted and it was like in Indiana, like local news in this small town in Indiana. And then somebody found out about it. And then it kind of just took off from there. So it was like a, you know, kind of like a ripple effect. And then by the time the league found out about it and the Jaguars tweeted it and all that, you know, but he was an awesome dude. I know there's like a call to action for everyone to go subscribe to his channel, like for Jaguars fans. He had a podcast called The Offensive or Offensive Lineman, like he's offensive, and he was, and it's great. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Sad day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd seen some other
2023
go ahead.
sucks already. It's only been 3
I was just say I had seen I know, right? Like Damar Hamlin, we have Uche. Did you guys see Jeremy Renner?
Yeah.
From
a snow plow accident. Yeah.
And then the race
Right.
car driver.
Yeah.
The race car
like-
driver.
I didn't. I
The
didn't.
former Pope?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know.
It's everybody.
He was old, right? Like that was a little less unexpected because he was
Right.
in his like 80s or
Right.
something. I'm sure his family is sad, right? But like, you know, but like
He's
the
a
other
priest.
folks,
He doesn't have what family? Oh, his parents. But he was.
yeah, maybe he's got siblings or
Okay.
something. I don't
Never
know.
mind.
Cousins. I don't know. I mean, nephews, nieces. How am I supposed to know? Anyway, my point is, it was to me, it was a little less shocking than some of the folks like
Right, for
accidents.
sure.
And
Oh, and
bizarre
was it
circumstances.
Barbara Walters? Right? Wasn't she another?
Yeah.
That
Listen,
was New
crazy.
Year's Eve.
listen.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna admit something. I didn't know that Barbara Walters was still alive.
That
Like
happened
I
to me
didn't.
with
I didn't
a
sit
celebrity.
around. I didn't sit around like thinking like, oh, Barbara Walters is dead and I'm sad. Like I wish she was still
Right.
around. When I heard the news, I was like, didn't she already die? I thought she already died, which is terrible.
That happened to me recently, and I forget. I actually texted a friend of mine. I forget which celebrity it was. And I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought they were already dead.
Like every time I hear it, Billy Idol's another one. Every time I hear that Billy Idol is still around, I'm like, wait, he's alive still?
Wait, what?
Dang, he's doing good.
Oh, Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
When she died, I was like, wait. I thought
Wait,
she
what?
already died. Yeah. Anyway.
Thank God the Queen of England is
update.
still around.
Oh yeah, she passed. Update. Since we've been on, the drive has collected another $25,000+.
Dang.
amazing.
It's
amazing.
Giselle
Changing lives.
trying to one up Tom Brady.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, oh yeah,
With his
Tom,
money?
watch this.
It's
Give me that
Antonio
child support.
Brown. Antonio Brown.
God.
I won up Tom Brady.
Antonio Brown.
Kanye
and
West
Giselle.
goes and donates the rest of the money that he has, and he's like,
Todd Clary, if you're still listening, an egg sandwich with mayo actually is very good. I've had those many times. They're quite delicious. You throw a slice of pepper jack cheese on there as well. You're in business. So yes,
That's
yes,
delicious.
Todd, you're not alone in your opinion on that one.
you know, it's crazy. I like from an optimistic standpoint, the Jaguars are number one in the AFC South. So
It's almost surreal a little bit, isn't it? Is it? Am I the
Who
one that
would've-
felt a little bit?
no, it is like who would have thought? Honestly,
I don't
but I
know.
am like mad about a Saturday game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I'm upset about it. I know everybody was like, "Oh yeah, one day to recover," but like, I have to like cancel appointments. That's my busiest day.
Oh right.
Why couldn't they think about me? You know?
Well, what kind of upsets me about the Saturday slot is that means we got passed up not once but twice before we were picked up by a network. Because Sunday night gets first picks on who they.
Well, it's because
play.
nobody wants to see the Titans backups play. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Titan-
Once you put that in, you're like, all right, we're good enough for Sunday night, but the Titans aren't even good enough for.
They were like starting Josh Dobbs. Nah, we're good.
Yeah, but before we jump into next week's game, the warm up to the playoffs, let's talk a little bit about this last week. We exercised a few demons, I think.
Did
What
we
was it?
though?
9?
Because it seemed like one demon came back, and that is the demon of Trevor's bad mechanics.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you attribute that to? I saw that too.
I'm hoping it's just having that long layover and his toe still being injured. You know, that long because they played on Thursday the week before. A little bit extra time off, a little bit extra rest.
I think he gets scared of throwing like turnovers, especially in the end zone.
But he had a couple.
always overthrows the end zone. and he was doing better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't have a great game. But listen, it was nice that game, even with Trevor struggling a little bit, it was nice that game was never really in question. It never once felt like the Texans were going to do anything substantial.
Yeah, it was actually really boring.
It was, but especially by like the end of the second quarter and then all through the second half of the game. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the fourth quarter live. I went to the Red Zone channel and watched the Red Zone. And then
I was like so comfortable that like I caught myself on my phone sometimes being like, oh wait, the game's on.
Yeah.
Like it'd be like commercial.
Were you at the game? No, you weren't in Texas.
Yeah, I would be scrolling during the commercial and they'd be playing and I'd be like, oh, I didn't realize because it was just we knew we were gonna win that
one. It was
one.
a ho hum, right? Ho hum.
And like how and then I'm like, why am I so comfortable? This is not normal. Is there something wrong with me?
It's weird to not have to worry during a game.
I haven't felt that in a long time. Yeah.
But Todd makes a point. Trevor is probably suffering from the Jags curse of playing down to the competition. I don't think that's just that has been a Jaguar thing, past few years.
Yeah.
I don't think that's just a Jags thing, but I do think, whether they want to admit it or not, it was probably harder to get hyped up for that Houston game than it's going to be for them to get hyped up for this game against the Titans, right?
They better get hyped up because I'm hyped up.
The world is hyped up. I am putting titles on podcasts saying that we're going to win. I need them to be hyped.
I forget which local. It might have been Frangie, Josh Allen's favorite reporter, but said that expect downtown to be like Florida, Georgia meets Monster Jam on steroids.
Yeah, I'm heading down there at 3.
Yeah.
We're going down. I'm super early. I want to be there like.
Our from the AFC South fan battle, our favorite Titans commentator just left a comment. If anybody wants to read it.
There are easily dozens of people getting hyped up. Many dozens, or hundreds of dozens, if not thousands of dozens.
Thousands of dozens of people.
Suck on that.
Would you guys? So Trevor, he kind of had a bad outing, but he still had, I think, 80% passing percentage. So
yeah, he was fine. He got lucky. He could have had 3 turnover. He could have had 3 interceptions, 2 of which very well could have easily been pick sixes, but he didn't. Right, it popped out of their hands. ETN looked good.
Yes,
the receivers didn't drop any balls. Like they had been. I think outside of Trevor's, weird performance, the offense was fine. The defense didn't really. There was a couple drives where Houston drove down the field a little bit, but clearly Davis Mills is not the answer for the Houstons at quarterback, and because that's the case, I hope they keep him forever. I hope he's their starter for the next 10 years. It just wasn't, I don't know, man. It was just sort of a boring, like, oh, okay, cool, we got this. They did what I wanted them to do. They just came out, they took care of business, and they won by many, many points. They won by 4 touchdowns. It's hard to complain.
I think that for me personally, that goes to show how good of a team we are. Like, Trevor doesn't have a good day. Let's be honest. It wasn't good. He was efficient. He did throw an interception. Probably should have thrown more. But the ho-hum day for him, we still had 3 rushing touchdowns. It didn't seem like there was a lot of fireworks, and we still won 31-3. It was a boring game, and yet we're still putting up
versus a team that gave us a whole lot of trouble. Yeah, I agreed. Versus a team that gave us a whole lot of trouble earlier in the year that we couldn't really seem to do anything against
at home in the heat, which we should have had the advantage, right?
Ooh, speaking of at home in the heat, did you guys see the $1 billion upgrade they're doing to the stadium, including a roof?
I have seen that. Yes.
Oh man, I can't wait.
$1 billion, and they're just going to add on to what they already have. But I guess they're taking away seats.
There's going to be only 8,000.
I'm okay with that. I mean,
our stadium is humongous compared to our market.
Like, people were complaining.
I looked at the attendance for I think it was the Raiders, and I think they have less attendance, less seats available than us, even in that huge stadium. So
I would rather them take out 8,000 seats and make the seats have a little more elbow room, to be perfectly honest, man. I wouldn't mind, because even when I wasn't as robust as I am now, sitting in those seats with people crammed around you isn't always the most comfortable experience. But I'm okay with them taking away seats, I'm especially if it gets you shade, because I've said many times that sitting in that stadium on a September afternoon with the sun beating on you is one of the most miserable ways to spend 4 or 5 hours of your life. It is unpleasant.
It says
And they lose.
it says we will essentially end up with a new stadium built on the existing structure.
Yeah, the big question mark is
Upgrades
going to
could
be
reach $1 billion.
Yeah, the big question is the city of Jacksonville going to pony up the cash that Shad wants them to? And to a certain extent, like, if they don't, Shad just needs to pay for it himself. Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah,
you
the
got
renovations include shade roof covering over TIAA Bank Field seating bowl. Plans also include decreasing the venue's capacity from 68,000 to roughly 60. TIAA Bank Field hosts other events including Florida, Georgia, and the Jaguars plan to pay for the upgrades through a public-private partnership, and the renovations would need to be attached to the team's lease, which runs through 2030. The firm that they're using was a part of the Atlanta Falcons' $1.8 billion Mercedes-Benz Stadium project and the renovation of the Miami Dolphins Hard Rock Stadium, which cost more than $500 million. So, I guess they're gonna probably partner with these people and then kick back revenue or something. I'm not sure. So,
I mean, if we're being honest, the stadium feels old on the inside and on the outside to an extent. So they've got to do something with the experience in there. Even just sprucing up the visuals, would be a good thing. But one thing's for sure is it's not going to look like a giant Topgolf. So suck on that, Tennessee.
Real quick before we move on to the next game, just a couple things I wanted to point out was some guy that I thought had died already was Snoop Connor. He is in fact still alive and on the team, and scored a touchdown. Who would have thought?
You guys are gonna have to take these next 5 minutes without me because someone just woke up hungry, allegedly.
Oh, okay, all right, yeah. It's been one of those nights at our house too.
Because they know they have to go back to school.
Well, they're just all out of their routines, man. They're kids. Yes, it was nice to see. Well, that's another thing I think. Him in general, they put in the backups, right, for a good chunk of that game, and the wheels didn't fall off, because in previous years there have been times, even preseason and others, where they put the backups in, and there was a noticeable decrease in the quality of play on the field. And yes, the backups are the backups for a reason, and they're not as good as the starters, but it wasn't this dramatic falling off like we've seen before. So Todd's bringing some fire. Comments tonight. Todd, yes, bring back the freaking move those chains chant. They do it. They kind of allude to it with this stupid Ford truck advertisement that they have on the billboards there. But they need to bring back the full thing. Speaking of bringing back, before we jump into the upcoming matchup with the Trash Pandas, the Jags equipment Twitter handle. I don't know if you follow them at all. They put out a vote for the uniform, and the correct one won, all teal. That's our color. It's a big game. Wear the color. But there was an exchange between them and Fred Taylor where people were complaining that, like, why don't we have an alternate helmet? Why aren't we doing any of this stuff? And Fred Taylor basically chimed in and said, they've got some great stuff coming down the pipe. For the love of God, I hope they're bringing back or changing to a uniform that looks more like the original only good uniform we've ever had. So that made me very hopeful to see that, because they're on that 5 year, the league only lets the teams change their actual jerseys and uniforms, their primary home and away, every 5 years. So hopefully there's good news coming there, because the ones we have now, I've said this before, the ones we have now just look unfinished. They just don't look.
That's how I felt that helmet looked, that everybody loved. The gold and black.
I liked it because everyone hated it.
It looked like someone started to spray paint it, and then they just were like, that's good enough.
They were trying to go for a gradient, and I don't know if you ever saw them in person, In person, you get there we go, a teal helmet. See, I'd be okay with a teal helmet without the gold face mask though. That's very nice. I do like that. That's pretty dope. If the face mask was black or white even, I'd be down for it because I hate the gold color. Everyone loves the gold. Like I can't stand it. I feel like it
pops of it is fine, but for an all over,
yeah. Well, because that's what the Saints have. It just feels like we're copying the Saints. But yeah, so hopefully new uniforms coming.
I want to incorporate. I think they need to incorporate Jag Wire print at some point because I think that'd be
solid mustard. Awesome. The solid mustard uniforms. Those the best meme I ever saw about those was if you go to a doctor's office, sometimes there's a chart on the wall where you can use a urine sample to determine how dehydrated you are, and someone compared that uniform to that chart, and I almost died. Another person, and I remember another one where like someone compared it to C-3PO. He basically looked like the Jacksonville C-3POs. But no, Todd, I hope that those uniforms never come back and never see the light of day again.
Do we even do Color Rush anymore? Does the NFL
our Color Rush is all white.
All white, yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah. And just a few quick more thoughts about this previous game. Snoop Connor came out of his diapers and put on his big boy pants and got a rushing touchdown. I liked a little bit of what I saw out of JaMychal Hasty. He didn't do a whole lot, but from when he was on there, I think he did pretty good.
The whole offense was just effective, even with ETN being out, and whether it was Hasty or Snoop, it was just nice to see them still do their job.
And then on the defensive side, it was nice to see Josh Allen get a sack, and he was in the backfield, in the back of the field, making some hits. He had 3 quarterback hits. As a team, we actually had 12 QB hits on them, so it's nice to see our front guys getting in the back and wreaking some havoc.
One of the cool things about the Jaguars official app is if you go on the app, it'll show you where the team ranks on things like pass rush and whatever. And by far, where the team's performance this year has ranked the lowest is pass rush. They've not put a lot of pressure and not got a lot of sacks overall over the course of the year. So it was nice to see them do that. And I think, that's one of the keys to next week. And I don't know if we're switching over now or we're waiting a minute, but
I also did want to point out Riley Patterson hit a 53-yarder, which I believe is his career long. So
congratulations, Riley. You did your job.
You did your job.
Yeah.
Yes. And
now I'm not I don't think people should be violent towards kickers, but the praise that some of these kickers get, it's like, come on, man, you did the bare minimum. Great.
Well,
like a 50-yarder at this point is like, if you're a decent kicker, you hit those, right? Yeah. If you're really good, you hit 55 and up, and if you're excellent, you can nail a 60-yarder. But congratulations, Riley, you didn't screw up,
right? Unless you're Justin Tucker, right? Justin Tucker, the dude is a game changer. He's a baller.
Him or unfortunately, Fat Randy for the Titans has nailed a few long kicks in his day too.
And Logan Cook, how about that? How about that punt?
Logan Cook, he's just quietly doing excellent things, this year and last year. Anybody see the punt from the I think was it Washington, where the punt got blown up and then the guy still ran with it to the sidelines and still punted it?
Oh yeah, it was illegal.
That was epic.
It was amazing. Awesome. That should be legal. I'm sorry, that should just be.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, that was pretty.
I was like, how the hell did he actually make that?
Davis Mills is hard to miss with that much neck hanging out there. That's what I said. I said, he should be a better quarterback because he can see above. His head is way above like the field of play. He should be able to have a bird's eye view of where to throw the ball. But
just think if they did a quarterback sneak every down, his head alone gets 2 yards, right? So, but anyways, so that's in the books. It's nice to see the Jags get a win in Houston and exercise some of those demons. Not sure what happened earlier on this year in the scorching heat that Josh Allen so loved last time we played the Texans, but I'm sure, Josh, you feel a little bit better now that we beat them in Houston.
Well, I know what happened. Earlier. The offense wasn't good. The Jaguars' offense was not playing well the first time we played the Texans, and that was the difference. Because the Texans only scored like 13 points or 16 points in that game. The Texans didn't come and blow the doors off the Jags' defense in week 5 or whatever it was. So, General Mills. No low hanging fruit. Yeah. So, yeah. But it was good to see them exercise that demon. All the Texans fans that were still sort of chirping, which was perplexing to me. They, okay, you won 8 in a row. There's still people tripping after the game about how we had lost like 8 or 9 in a row to the Texans, and I'm like, well, the most recent one is the one that matters, and we won that one. So shut it.
All right. Well, before we head into next week's game, or I guess I call it a warm up against the cupcake. I do want to do a shout out to one of our favorite companies that helps sponsor what we get to do here at Fan Battle, and that is Manscaped. I do want to shout out to their deodorant right here. It's a little guy right here, right? It's little, but it packs a punch, kind of like MJD, right? He's little, but he packs a punch. And I'll tell you what, man, I've been using it, and it smells good, but it's not overbearing, and it lasts all day. And most importantly, my wife likes it, which in turn means she likes to be close to me. So
they should name it the Pocket Hercules.
So shout out to manscaped.com, guys. Head over to manscaped.com, put in promo code FANBATTLE, and you'll get not only 20%, but free shipping on your entire purchase. So.
Yeah, their body wash smells good too. I used it the other day.
My wife, it's not overwhelming.
No,
like the
it's
smell.
just right.
Yeah, like anybody could use it, and like I said, it has little ingredients, which is also good. Todd Clary says, speaking of low-hanging fruit.
So, anyways, thank you, Todd, for your comments.
I don't understand that comment. So I don't know what that means. Moving on.
Testicles.
Manscaped.com.
Yes. So as Josh alluded to earlier, we are going into this cupcake in all teal unis. Let's go. Is it just me, or I was thinking about it? It almost felt like Shad Khan was almost trying to go away from the teal.
Shad Khan. So the rumors, and I say they're rumors, but several people that would know said that Shad Khan hated the teal color. He couldn't stand it, and he wanted to go away. So when they did that first redesign, with the two-tone helmet, the teal wasn't featured very much in those. They had a teal alternate, but they only wore that one time in 5 years. And there was no teal in the helmet other than the Jaguars' tongue. The teal was accent color, and black became primary with gold as the secondary. So that was always the rumor that Shad Khan hated the teal color. And I'm glad to see that they have finally listened to the fans and stopped the nonsense and all the teal hate.
Yeah.
All right. So heading into this cupcake week, yes, it's a cupcake week. Give the ball to Eric Henry. You know what we're going to do? We're going to knock him out. Much love, though, to our Yulee grad. We're going to knock him out and get another fumble.
No, there's no love this week, Matthew. Take that back. There's no love this week. After this week, once you're sitting at home watching the playoffs on the couch, much respect to you, Eric Henry. This week, you suck, and we're gonna knock you into next week, buddy.
Okay. All right. That's fair. ESPN, crazy enough, has us as they have a matchup predictor on percentages on who's going to win. We have an 85.2% chance of winning with the Titans at 14.7%.
What, 82? Who voted 14? Like, come on.
Well, listen, any given Sunday, they play the games for a reason, right?
Okay.
And I've been
Okay.
I didn't say it was likely. I just said it was possible.
Well, this game is on Saturday.
Boom. Thank you,
Sam. Saturdays for the boys. I don't know what to tell you. Listen, and the boys, specifically the boys from Duval. So I do think that there is a slim chance that the Titans, but Jags being sort of heavily predicted to win makes sense because the Titans do have a lot of injuries. As much grief as I've given the folks on Titans Coliseum when they talk about the injuries, the Titans, Paul Kaharski put out an article talking about the percentage of the Titans payroll that's sitting on injured reserve, and it's something like 70% or something. I forget what the number was, but it was like a crazy high number. So they have a lot of injuries. The starting quarterback is out. You've got a third string quarterback that has literally one or two games of experience under his belt. Derrick Henry is listed as out, which I think is a little bit of gamesmanship. I think there's no way he doesn't play Saturday.
Yeah.
But listen, if Derrick Henry doesn't play,
I think I have a theory.
He's not listed on the injury report today.
Oh, okay. I didn't see.
Well, either way, though, I have a theory. Regardless of whether or not, have you seen him interviews with him in the last 4 or 5 weeks?
No.
He's very like, I mean, like, I don't care. Like, I'll just answer your questions, move along. Like, I think he's over it.
I'm only here
Hasn't
so
he
I don't
always
get
kind of
fined.
been that way though? He hasn't really ever been like super verbose in interviews that I
I
remember.
don't know.
I haven't seen
there's
very many.
there's rumors that he's over it. I mean, he's got to be over it. He's pretty much all they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Isn't he?
And they're
isn't his
blaming him
contract
for
up?
the fumbles that he had. It's like, dude,
Oh
you
my
guys
gosh.
beat him up, you know?
Literally carrying the franchise on his back. Like literally.
Yeah.
Yes, Todd, I agree. Strike hard, strike first, strike hard, show no mercy. Sweep the leg. That's what we got.
Listen, I'm more confident in this Titans game than I was going into the Texans, who we beat with our backups for a portion of the game, 31-3. This isn't the Jaguars of old. I mean, Doug Peterson is a legitimate coach, and I think he's proven that throughout this season. You know, he's legitimate. Trevor Lawrence is here, man. Like
The Titans fans have ended the chat.
Oh Lord. Someone. Are we gonna put that one up? I don't know. If we're gonna...
What did this Mayo eater say?
That's
stuff.
here it comes.
All right.
Y'all eat rats and piss in pools. Come on, bro. That's not even funny. Like, do better. Like, give me better jokes, man.
I don't
Like,
know, man. That's
When
pretty
you know
funny.
you're going to
I need
lose,
better
you have to.
content from you.
When you
know?
know you're going to lose, and you can't really say anything.
I mean, we never ate the rats, but peeing in the pools probably. But they empty them every game, and I mean,
That's so funny to me because if you've been to the stadium at all and you go up there, the pools are one of the premium sections of the stadium. The pools are not an area that a jabroni that pays $50 for a ticket in the upper deck can just wander into, right? Like this is that's a VIP experience that you're getting into when you go into those pools. So the pool jokes just make me laugh every time.
over or under Derrick Henry 200
Under.
yards.
Under.
I say over.
You think he's going to go over 200 yards?
No,
We
they're going to
haven't
stack
seen
the
it out
box
of
against Dobbs.
We haven't seen it out of them all year. This is their last chance. They're gonna
They've got
try.
Dobbs. We're gonna stack the box against Henry and dare Dobbs to try to beat us. That's what's gonna happen.
I think. Listen, I'll just say it. I think if Derrick Henry has over 200 yards, the Jags are in trouble.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's two.
So I'll take the
football field
under.
lengths.
I don't think he's getting to 200. He might get 100. You know, the Titans fans were talking a bunch about him having 96
I think
yards
it'll be
in the
close
first
to
half.
200. It
But
could
he
be.
had 50 of those on one run, right? Like
Yeah.
he wasn't getting 8-9 yards a clip, and in the second half of that game he was getting stuffed. So I think here's what I think it comes down to. If the Jaguars offense plays mistake-free, turnover-free football, the Titans do not stand a chance. I just don't think they stand a chance. The Jaguars offense is the key to this game. The Jaguars defense has proven that they can bend but not break, and they can hold people when they need to, even if we get into a shootout. If it turns into a game where the Jaguars are scoring 21 points or more, the Titans are in trouble because I don't believe that Josh Dobbs is going to run amok. I just can't. Stranger things
So
have
the
happened.
only game that
I can't
he's
see it.
ran over 200 yards this year was against Houston. And he had 2 touchdowns. That's this year. So
Did they win or lose that game?
They beat Houston 17-10.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah,
so both touchdowns came.
yeah, but if Derrick Henry has 200 yards or more, then the Jags are in trouble, right? And then things have gone amok, and the game has worked towards the Titans' favor in that regard. I can't. Anything can happen. I don't think that that's very likely. It looks like Fodakasi's back. I know we lost Dwan Smoot to an Achilles. I can't see it, man. Like I just don't think that Doug Peterson. That's another worry I don't have. I don't have any concern that Doug Peterson's going to get outcoached.
Right.
I do think that this is going to be, a heck of a game, though. You're going to see
The
both
biggest
teams
thing
bring
is
all the field.
ETN needs to hold on to that freaking ball, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Turnovers. Him and Trevor both. If Trevor and Etienne and the offense in general can manage to not turn the ball over,
which they will.
well, I don't understand. I mean, yes, Gabriel Ruiz, it's the healthiest defense you've had in a while, but you guys have something like 10, 12 people, on injured reserve, and everybody's hurt and banged up.
Yeah.
And to be perfectly honest, we have played very good defenses and scored on them even when they were completely healthy. We scored a bunch of points in the Cowboys. So again, this all hinges on the Jaguars offense, in my personal opinion. If the Jaguars offense brings their A game and plays mistake-free football, I think
I like Todd Clary's Henry stat seems pretty legit to me.
145. I think even that 30 touches for Henry means that they're playing ball control offense, and our offense is not on the field. But listen, it's so hard to predict like individual stats.
But I think the yardage.
But I think what Matt said earlier is that they're going to stack the box. They're going to make Josh Dobbs throw, and they're going to trust Tyson Campbell, Rayshawn Jenkins, and those guys to cover, Bobby Trees and Cheeseburger Burks. And listen, no disrespect to Cheeseburger Burks. He's actually had a couple good games, but I think if it becomes a shootout, I don't think the Titans can hang with the Jags. If it's a low scoring game, I think it's more worrisome from a Jaguar standpoint.
You guys are giving the Titans way too much credit. Now, if this was maybe week 2 or week 3, maybe like if we were in the same situation, like they had the same injuries and we were, the hottest team in the league, even in week 3, I would be okay, maybe, given any given Sunday. But it's the play-in game for the playoffs. We have Doug Peterson, who's proven he can win at the highest level. We have a quarterback who's looking like he might potentially actually be the generational quarterback. Etienne is a stud. But yeah, he's got some butterfingers, but he still shows out. Our defense has been very opportunistic, which in the NFL today is really what wins you most of the games, is being opportunistic. And they're going to be one-dimensional. We're going to force them to be one-dimensional. Derrick Henry, stack the box against Derrick Henry. He's the only chance you have. But if you become predictable, which they will be, because we're going to force Dobbs to try to throw it. Dobbs, who can't throw it, and they have Burks, who they hope to be A.J. Brown, who, in my opinion, is not going to become close to A.J. Brown. They just don't have it offensively, maybe defensively, but they're going to be on the field for so much that we're going to wear that defense out. And so wearing their defense down combined to making them a one-dimensional predictable offense, it's not even going to be close. I think
if we go up 13, 14, 17 points on this team, they'll break. What I don't think that the Titans have in them is the ability to come back from a big deficit, right? I don't think that Josh Dobbs can sling the ball enough to get them back into a game once we get out on top of them. So yeah, don't misunderstand me. I'm not necessarily giving the Titans credit. I mean, okay, Gabriel, he wasn't bad, but he also wasn't good. He didn't, how many touchdowns did he score? Did he win the game? Like, he didn't beat. And listen, the Cowboys were very beatable in that Thursday night game. They were not trying that hard. They were running vanilla offense and defense. With the way that if Josh Dobbs was good, I think part of Josh Dobbs' somewhat impressive performance was the fact that Dallas was clearly doing the bare minimum, trying to not get injured and just beat the Titans without trying to do too much. That again, I just don't think that Josh Dobbs, Gabriel, if you're obviously you're listening, do you believe that Josh Dobbs could come back from a 2-3 score deficit and win the game for you?
I like Josh Dobbs as a person.
Yeah, he's a good
he didn't play too bad for getting thrown in there, but
he also didn't play good.
I more or less want to know how the Titans feel that their quarterback that they picked up, there's no faith in him. I mean, I know he's a rookie, but dang.
Or Willis, yeah.
But
yeah, I think the jury's still out on Willis. They're going to give him time to develop. He'll have a whole off season to figure out. Yeah, and Todd, you might be right, Todd Clary. Like I said, it's hard to predict. But again, I think this is the Jaguars' game to win or lose. right? So if the Jaguars lose this game, it will because they made mistakes and didn't play up to their potential. The Jaguars win the games because they came in and played like we've seen them be able to play in several games this year. I don't think the Titans are going to come. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, Gabriel. I'm not trying to disrespect Josh Dobbs.
Right.
Gabriel says not Dobbs alone. Their O-line is trash. Your O-line's injured, just as injured as your defense and the rest of your team is. But I just don't think that – I don't think the Titans are in a spot where if you get up big on them that they'll be able to come back. Again, but that all hinges on if the Jaguars play to the level that we know they can play, the Jaguars will win this game.
Wow. 20-14 with 3 minutes left? Yeah, maybe in the first quarter.
Yeah, you're talking about 3 minutes left till halftime, right, Todd?
No, that's literally. Listen, I don't know what you guys are thinking. Like, I hate the Titans. I hate them more than
I want
probably just
so
as much
bad.
as like the Gators and the Titans are probably the two worst things that have ever been created.
No.
Evenly for me.
I
But
forgot you're a State fan.
I hate the Titans. But if I step back and you look at this neutrally, the Titans have half of a team, right? They have a half of a team on both sides of the ball. Like our offense is humming. Our defense has been stepping up to the plate and being very opportunistic. We haven't been beating slumps. Like we've been beating some pretty legitimate teams, including the Cowboys, right? The Jets in an ugly game, right? It was 19-3.
Where they benched their quarterback.
We destroyed the Texans. Like
I do. Well, yeah.
we're humming. Like this like just step
There
back
are no
and look at it.
guarantees. You're saying what I'm saying, just in a little more energetic way. I think if the Jaguars play the way we think the way we have seen them play, the way we know they can play, they will beat the Titans. Just flat out.
I don't even. It's a trap game. It's not a trap game. Last week would have been a trap game. Houston would have been a trap game. You look past Houston, looking at Tennessee. That's the trap game. Houston, Tennessee. No, listen. If we had Doug Maloney, if we had him still, maybe. But I'm telling you, Doug Peterson, dude, he's a legitimate
Peterson.
He's a legitimate coach.
Listen, Peterson. Division. I don't think it's a gimme, Gabriel, but I think you would agree. If you're being honest, in a moment of honesty outside of the trolling fandom that you and I both share, Gabriel, I appreciate your troll posts in the AFC South fan battle group. If you were being honest, if the Jaguars play up to their full potential, it's going to be very hard for the Titans to beat them. Nothing is guaranteed.
Half potential, we still win. Half potential. I'm telling you, half potential, we still win.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
We still win handily.
I would love nothing better than to see the Jaguars hang 50 on the Titans. Now, I'm not saying they're going to do that, but I don't care. I legitimately don't care how much they win by. I don't care.
No.
Beat them. No. Just beat them.
But we were just saying, how ugly of a game was it from Trevor Lawrence this past Sunday? And there weren't even crazy splash plays. I'm telling you right now,
the Titans are better than the Texans.
I don't know. Not right now, man. And just looking at their injuries, listen, if they had their full offense and everyone was healthy, I'd still think we'd beat them, but I think we would have more of a conversation.
Yeah, Gabriel, wasn't trying to call you dishonest, buddy. Not what I meant. I just meant, outside of making jokes, we all love to poke fun at each other's teams. Was all I meant there. But yeah, I mean, the deck is stacked against the Titans. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility. I just think that the Jaguars right now, if they can come out and handle business, it's just going to be very hard for the Titans to hang with them.
Yeah, I think game's over.
I agree with Todd on this. I don't think it's necessarily going to be a blowout. We are going to get every ounce of everything that the Titans have left. I think we're going to see a trick play. I'm telling you, we're going to see a fake punt or a fake field goal, something. The Titans have nothing. Yeah. Todd just put another. The Titans have nothing to lose.
How many times have we had nothing to lose and pooped?
I'm just saying, I'll be there screaming my head off. Sam will be there. Yes,
I will.
So that's all I can do. Right. And while I don't think that everything that fans do have a huge impact on the game, I do believe that place is going to be loud enough that it will hopefully get a couple of false start penalties.
I hold it down for Section 143. I'm tired of coming home with no voice. I'm gonna need some of y'all to.
That game that
Matt
I went,
knows.
Oh, she wasn't kidding. Like she's like, just so you know, I'm loud. I'm like, What does she mean? Everyone's allowed a football game. No. Sam's on a whole nother level, guys.
I'm like
Oh.
very loud. I think Matt, were you at the game where the guy turned around and looked at me and I was like,
Yes.
listen. I was
Yes.
like, I'm like Celine Dion without the talent, okay?
There's an art to making noise at a football game, and I intend to be very, very loud also.
If you, I'll link we'll make an event. I can teach it. We're gonna have Duval
Masterclass?
classes. Yeah, Duval shouting masterclass, because it's almost like sometimes the fans don't see when there's like, get loud, blinking lights, everything, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah. We
And then everybody looks back and stares at me. I'm like, what? Just doing what they're telling me to do.
yeah. Well,
You know.
Yeah, that's all you can do. I think it's going to
Defense
be
is
a
on the
rowdy.
field. You're the 12th man. Come on.
I think it's going to be a rowdy environment, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But what Todd just said, when we beat Indy last year, that's what worries me. Now, I think the good news is we don't have Carson Wentz as our starting quarterback.
It's different.
Right?
So different. Two different teams. Two different
think so.
coaches.
Yeah, I don't know,
Thank
man.
God.
All I'm
Two different
saying
teams,
is,
different coaches.
listen-
If I
listen.
had Carson Wentz as my quarterback, I would not be as confident as I am right now.
well, sure, nobody would. Carson Wentz, Prince Harry sucks.
Trevor Lawrence is him. The
yeah.
end.
Him.
So again, that's what I'm saying. If Trevor Lawrence plays like we know he can play, then RIP Titans. If they come out and they make mistakes, then we're gonna have a ball game on our hands, and they may still pull it out. I do believe all that is to say, I do believe they're gonna win. But Jags fans, if you're going to the game, don't take this one for granted. Get down there early. Scream your head off. If you're near section 121, come see me. I don't know what row I'm in, but
If you're near section 143 or anywhere in the vicinity, you'll hear me.
Yeah, and if
I'm
you're
at
in the
the very
AFC
top of
South
the
fan
section.
battle group, I'm going to figure out next couple of days a place where maybe anybody who's in that group is going to the game. We should meet up, say hello.
No, everybody should go to the slab. Go to the slab.
I can't go to the slab. You know why I can't go to the slab? We'll talk about it off the air. But we'll get there. Whether you go to the slab, whether you meet up with somebody or not, if you're going to the game, you got tickets. Get down there early. Get loud. And let's have a good Saturday night.
Yeah.
All right. So what are your predictions, guys? Score
27-10 Jags.
30. This is always the hardest part for me. 31-17 Jags.
I'll go 31-10. I think the Titans will come out swinging. They'll do their trick plays and whatnot, and maybe they'll get up 10-0. But I think once we get settled in, I think the Jags, with the 12th man, will take care of the game. But
Yes, don't worry, I got you, Matt.
Yep.
I am the 12th man.
you are the 12th man. So anyway, guys, any other comments, concerns?
No, I mean, I don't have any concern. All I'll say is, if you had pulled us aside and someone had told us that the end of the year, the Jags are playing at home, and if they win, they're in the playoffs, and without any other details on how the season went or who did what, and they ask you, how do you feel about that? We would all have said, wow, that sounds amazing, right? Winning you're in last game of the year. So, it's hard to, I don't know. It's hard to have any complaints right now.
Yeah, from blowout to 10. I mean, like, we're gonna be down 10, and they might put up 10 points, and then we're gonna blow them out from there. Like you've seen that several times throughout this year with several teams, where one team comes out swinging, and the other one says, "Hold on," and they come back, and it's a
we're
31
like
to
the
10
masters at that.
blowout.
Yeah, so that's what will be my final comment. And I think I mentioned it before, but it's great to have a team. They used to call us the cardiac cats because we always choked, especially in the second half. It's really great to have a team that is going to be able to hold it down for 4 quarters, and really anything goes. Like at that Cowboys game, when we fumbled the ball and there was a couple minutes left, and all the Cowboys fans started leaving, and I looked over at the people I was with, and they were like, "Do you want to go beat the traffic?" I'm like, "No, because it's not over." Like,
Nope.
This is the first time where like there's still a chance, and that confidence I haven't had in.
They have won in almost every way imaginable. They've blown teams out. They've come from behind. They've had a big lead and lost it, and then still come back to win. They've been in a shootout where it's back and forth. Every scenario imaginable this team has an example this year of winning, despite whatever the scenario is. That is just such a unfamiliar but great feeling as a Jags fan, right? It just felt like,
Yeah, it doesn't happen anymore.
Yep.
No. Well, anyways, guys, I think we'll put a bow on this. Where can we find you? Outside? How about that?
You can find me in the
Catch me
club.
outside. Yep, catch me outside. How about that?
Okay, so I'll go first, I guess. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Sammy Football with an I, and of course, you can find me on Monday nights at 9:30 on AFC South Fan Battle, hosting those turds as the non-biased host. Sunday nights during the off season. So, and then on here when Josh invites me.
You have an open invitation. Stop being a baby and just come on the show. You'll find me on Twitter at Josh Gives Up and in section 121 this coming Saturday. So like I said, if you see
I should
me,
say that. You can find me in 43. Yeah.
Todd Clary wants everyone to know where you can find him.
The Bold City Bandit.
Oh, I like that. I like that. That's a good handle.
Yeah. You guys can find me really wherever you want to. I'll be there. No. Jag Wire on Twitter, maybe on MySpace if I can remember my password. Still looking for that. And then LiveJournal is always my favorite go-to. So.
Hey, Blogspot.
We're not going to talk about the LiveJournal.
Anyways, guys, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week. Hopefully, talking about a home game in the playoffs.
Hopefully, and I got one more quote from the Jag social media after we won Houston. I think it's apropos. I played it on the big show. I want to play it here again. This is what we're gonna say to the Titans fans. All the talk they've been talking, all the smack they've been running. Here we go.
Hate me or love me, you watched. That's all you could do. Thank you.
Boom. Go Jags.